Yoshi Miller here again from Warrior Concepts, Bujinkan Mukino Tora Dojo here in Sudbury, Pennsylvania. And this is lesson 2 or part 2 of the rolling exercises that we started obviously in part 1, but this is all related to the work we're going to be doing in module 1 of our 5-module program going from white belt to black belt in the Bujinkan Mukino Tora Dojo curriculum. Right? Our online training program, our Inner Circle Platinum coaching program, and also for the students here at the dojo. Right? So in part 1 we took a look at break falling and catching ourselves against something that's shoving us from behind, and we're catching this koen no kamae, and then we took a look at a side roll from there, and then again we took a look at a side roll from our seiza no kamae, or this formal seat position. Right? In this class, or in this segment, what I want to take a look at is a forward shoulder roll. I tend to not start my people with just a straight over kind of roll thing because most often than not, even if I'm shoved forward and I can drop into a roll, the body will naturally step to catch itself, and we find that the shoulder rolls they happen more often, more naturally. But today what we're going to take a look at is doing the same thing, and we're going to keep the lesson going from our koen no kamae, and we're also going to be using this seiza no kamae to go forward. Eventually, students are responsible for doing 4-directional rolling from all of their Mod 1 ground level kamae. That means from koen no kamae, from asuka no kamae, which we'll take a look at in part 3, from seiza no kamae, and from fudoza no kamae, the immovable seat position. Right? So they need to be able to roll forward, both sides, and back, shoulders and hips, from these 4 ground kamae that you have in Mod 1. Okay? These 3 lessons are designed for the folks that really need to start on the ground. Now, again, if you've been rolling for a long time, I challenge you to still do this stuff from the ground, because it can be integrated directly into your stealth movement, and you may find yourself on the ground and have to move. A lot of folks, they've learned rolling, or they've learned things one way, and they really haven't thought about it in other ways. Okay? My students all the way to advanced levels have to be able to do, let's say, a forward shoulder roll from everything from standing to dive rolling to on the ground, like we did in lesson 1, in koen, in seiza, fudoza, even flat out face down on the ground, spread eagle, whether you're in a stealth kind of position or somebody put you there. And you need to be able to do a forward roll from right there and come right out of it. Okay? Well, again, where you're face down, flat on the ground. Not doing that today. But again, we're going to take a look at this forward shoulder roll, again, from a ground position, so any anxiety or stiffness or anything like that that might be happening up here, we can reduce it or minimize it or eliminate it altogether because we're already on the ground. Okay? So if you need a refresher on how to get into some of these positions, take a look at lesson 1. But I'm going to start out opposite what I did in lesson 1. Lesson 1, I started in koen no kamae, and then we did seiza. This time I'm going to start in seiza, and then we'll take a look at koen, because the dynamics are exactly opposite. Okay? So with this one, I'm going to start in seiza no kamae. Okay? And we want to take a look at, again, eliminating the falling, so we can practice the concept that I introduced to you in lesson 1, where rolling is an exercise in balance or balance control, not an exercise in agility or speed. Okay? This is not gymnastics. Right? The difference between gymnast and us is that gymnasts have complete control over the speed, direction, and application of their rolling. Okay? Or their vaulting or anything like that. Okay? For us, the attacker determines direction, speed, intensity, everything. Okay? So we have to be able to adapt our body to an external force determining the variables it's going to do it on the right side. First application, right, we're going to take a look at just forming things so we can get a handle on rolling over muscle and not bone. What I don't want to be doing is moving into something where I'm slamming the front of my shoulder joint or the top of my shoulder joint, the clavicle and the AC joint, into a hard surface. So I need to practice rounding this out. So here's a little exercise for doing that. What we're going to do is just start in seiza, and remember that we're rolling off angle. So don't try to roll forward. Okay? The forward direction is determined by the line from our hip to our shoulder muscle. So butt muscle to shoulder muscle. Not point of hip to point of shoulder. That's another mistake that people often make, and then they can't figure out why they flop over into a side roll at the end. Butt muscle to shoulder muscle, it's very, very close to the natural alignment of the spinal column. So we have something that's ever so slightly off, as opposed to what Mom taught us was the hip, which is where the belt goes, right? And the point of the shoulder, which is really the top of the forearm, where it plugs in at the AC joint. Not talking about that. We're talking about muscles. Rolling over muscles, not bone. Okay? So from here, my rolling direction is that way, not at the camera. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start by lowering ourselves down, just so we have a little bit of control here. Put the arm out to the side and then rotate it over. Just roll it over so it's palm up. Okay? Basically, we're putting a musodori on our shoulder. Okay? I'm going to shift just a little bit here so I stay in frame for you. So it's out, roll it over, and now what I want to do is put all this muscle on the floor. Okay? So the back of the hand is on the floor, all the way up to the shoulder, and I want to move my head out of the way. Okay? And from right here, I'm basically just going to walk a little bit to get my butt, to get my lower body, lower part of my torso to go over my shoulder. And again, just like in lesson 1, if we're on our balance line, you should be able to do this slowly, and your body will move itself from point A to point B. Okay? Moving quickly doesn't say anything about agility or anything like that. It just means that you get from point A to point B pretty quickly. But at the same time, you could be zipping right through some problem areas that you have, where if you were in a fight and you were tense at the wrong time, or you lost your balance at the wrong time, or you lost control at the wrong time, the entire purpose of developing these skills would go right out the window, and basically you're handing this guy your life and limb on a silver platter. Okay? So again, we want to make sure that we're focusing on the right things. Right? So again, from here, we can sit all the way down in Seiza, arm comes out. Okay? Use the other hand for support. Okay? Don't just flop your face down. Look away from that hand, okay? And then just kind of use your toes and your leg to bring yourself straight over. Don't try to control direction. Just bring the butt and that hip over the shoulder that you're rolling over, and it should bring you right over. Okay? So this has a stealth application where if I'm having to roll from right here or flatten out or get off angle, what I can do is if my hands are already on the ground, say I'm in this kohen no komai, right? I can do it from here, and then what I'm going to be doing is kind of sweeping the ground out this way. Okay? So if there's anything in my way, whether I can see it or not, I can sweep it and then roll my hand in the process and bring myself over. Okay? So we can always put these things into context, and that's what's important. Okay? So here's this basic thing from Seiza. For kohen, it's going to be a bit different. Okay? So I'm down here in this kohen, right? And what I want to see again is this agility. But now, just like the Seiza reaching one from lesson 1, okay, here I'm going to be a little higher. Right? So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take the rolling side hand and I'm going to break ground with it, and I'm going to reach back for the opposite side foot. Again, looking away. But the idea is to get the shoulder to the ground. So from here, shift, and I'm going to bring myself over. Now a little trick for making sure that this happens and your head stays out of the way is to look back at the foot you're reaching for and keep your eye on that foot all the way through the roll till you come out of it. Okay? So again, from here, okay, we're in our kohen. Okay? What I want to do from here is I'm going to reach back for that foot to get the muscles of the upper arm and the shoulder to the ground, okay? And then bring myself over that point. The idea is to get your feet on the floor. Let your feet find the floor. Here's a common mistake from any of these positions, even standing, if the angle's off, if we're rolling toward the point of the shoulder or something like that, or there's too much tension or anything like that. Okay? Often what will happen is people will go into the roll correctly, and then they'll fall over at some point, and this is okay, but the feet are now off to the side. There's no way to get the soles of the feet under us, and that's one of the goals we want to work on. From here, and we're in position, and I want to bring myself to a position where I can stand up directly into come on. Okay? The feet have to be under me. Okay? So again, here we have a forward roll application from Seiza no Komai, Kohen no Komai. See you in the next lesson.